Well, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Smoke and Mirrors Podcast. I'm Nick, and this is
Zach.
So we got Missy here. So what's your thoughts on this, Missy? I think it's pretty cool that we have like 31 states to have recreational marijuana laws now.
That's awesome. Our state needs to do it.
See, I think so too.
So I can smoke legally.
No, they just need to legalize it, period, dude. Like, I mean, like, this is bullshit. This is just stupid.
If it's legal to do, why not?
Well, I mean, then everybody can get it everywhere, and everyone's gonna want the best. So you're gonna have to grow some good shit.
So you'd have your son growing the weed and you selling the weed, huh?
Fuck yeah.
She said, fuck yeah. We're sharing a mic, and this mic you have to deep throat, so we have to push it back and forth so she can be a part. So, yeah. Hold on.
Well, anyways, I just thought that was pretty cool. I thought if y'all didn't know that's pretty cool. So Missy, what are you looking forward to in your life next? There's got to be some kind of trip or something that you're looking forward to.
Dude, did I send you that video at Vegas? There's this shop you go into, and it's really normal. It's like a store. They sell everything in it, and then you find random doors you go into, and it's like
What?
mushroom land.
That sounds crazy. What? That's nuts.
That is going to go on my bucket list. It's a real place in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had to show you this, though.
All right,
You
I'm
gotta
gonna have
go
to check
and
that
open.
out.
If you see an opportunity to open a door, you open it, and there's cool lights and slides with lights on them and shit like that. It's cool.
Well, holy shit. Hell yeah.
I want to go tripping.
You want to go tripping? Okay. What trip are you looking forward to, Zach? There's got to be something you're looking forward to.
I mean, she just described a supermarket that's not with, like, tattooed chickens and crazy stuff where, like, you got to pull a yogurt off of the shelf and have a door open, shit like that. But I don't know if LSD is legal in Nevada currently. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I mean, everything else is legal there. They should just legalize all of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Do whatever you want. Get a hooker. Go gambling.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Like, all the heathens can just come to one place and let it all out. It's kind of like the purge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Similar thing. I mean, don't make murder legal, please. That's stupid. I'm just saying, like, you should be able to do just about anything else, though.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, mushrooms and LSD. Thanks, babe.
Well, I mean, see, this is why me personally.
Peyote, like you found that in the desert. I found it on the ground. I ate it.
And
That
what
why
else
do
is
I
in
have
the
in trouble?
desert? Burning Man. See, that's what.
Well, that's what I'm saying. For sure, we could probably hit this. We could probably hit this
Like,
thing
I like
up
this-
on the way to Burning Man. That's what
hit
I
this on the way to Burning Man. It'd be like a little.
I mean, as a prequel to
Pre-game.
Burning Man. Yeah.
Holy
Well,
shit! Are
that's
you serious?
nothing when we're spending.
That's not a bad
$9,000.
price. She said $50 for tickets to this place. Hell yeah!
There's a supermarket. Fuck, you gotta pay to go to the supermarket?
This is crazy.
The hell?
Yeah, but you know what? I remember seeing that when you sent it to me. That shit is crazy. Yes, you did. I remember that now. I'm like, that shit's nuts. Yes, you're right.
It's like an escape supermarket, only for people. I wonder if they give you, like, here, drink this tea before you come in. Like, this is impossible when you're high. You can never get through this place. We're stuck here for a week. Back when we were kids. Now, we're grandparents.
So is there anything in Georgia that y'all have not done that you're looking forward to doing? See, one of my things is that damn waterfall place y'all go to. What is it called?
Abacoa Falls?
Amacola Falls. I've not been there yet, and I love that kind of shit. So
You can go to a psychedelic supermarket, but you can't go to the waterfall.
I can't climb up the hill. My legs are fucked up. This is going just through doors and a
you could do it. Look. We'll bring Dixie and Buster, and they'll carry you up there. I'm just... Come on, mama. Come on. We got it. So, man, it has been a crazy week, y'all. Like, seriously. So I've been keeping up with this thing going on in the Senate because right now they're trying to they went for 10 years saying that these things called pistol braces are fine and you can put them on your AR pistols, right? And they're meant for stabilization with one arm shooting, right? And yes, people do what they're not really meant for and put them up against their shoulder. Well, for 10 years, the ATF said that this was fine. You just couldn't put it against your shoulder. Then 3 years later, they're like, well, I guess sometimes if it was to brush your shoulder, it's no big deal. And then they were like, no, you can't put it against your shoulder. And now they're flat out trying to say that you have now made this an illegal SBR, that you need to have it registered with us as an NFA item for the National Firearms Act. Well, so the Senate and the House are sitting there like, hey, hold the hell up a second. You don't make law, we make law, and you're changing the definition of shit and just making up crap now. You can't go 10 years. We have 10 to 40 million of these things out there. We're not talking about a small number. That's a pretty big chunk. 10 to 40 million. I mean, that's pretty huge. And next thing you know, and I mean, I swear to God, dude, people that I keep up with, because I have to keep up with the gun laws and stuff. People that I keep up with have said 3 weeks ago, watch, something's about to happen. Something's about to happen. And I shit you not, the day before they were about to vote on this shit, right, and move forward with this thing, this shooting happens, which God rest the children. I mean, it's really fucked up what happened. I mean, but it's just it seems like every time there's something big like this where they're voting on it, it just is so convenient of the timing of this stuff happening. And I can't help but wonder, is there something else going on, something I'm missing? I don't know. It's just strange because this is not the first time this has happened.
Well, I mean, that would go back probably to just the whole media thing about it is media feeds us what they want us to see, not necessarily the reality. I mean, there's mass shooting probably today somewhere. I mean,
considering what they
yesterday,
call mass shooting, yeah,
or a couple of days, I guess Monday it was where the kids were shot, or Monday.
Night in Chicago is a mass shooting.
Yeah, so I mean, Monday there was a tragic event in Tennessee that is close to where we live. And it involved children, so it definitely merited the news being brought out about it. But, I mean, I agree. I mean,
Have you seen what's come out about this, though? Have you seen more of it? It's a trans.
I know. Right, I need that.
Okay, it's a Christian school. It's dude, this is on a level of what the hell? And it had to be.
She had a manifesto.
And the chances of something enormous like this. And the other thing is, she had a brace on the gun. Wow. And I mean, talking about the day before, it's just weird. I mean,
yeah, but you did
God
say.
Forbid I get it,
I mean, you did say that there's 100 million of them or something. You said there was a whole shitload.
Oh yeah, there's.
So
they say that there's somewhere between 10 million to 40 million.
Okay, so I mean, somebody using an AR would have possibly had one of those, so it's not so far fetched.
Well,
I don't know what weapon she used.
That's
I don't know.
Not so far fetched. It's just
it's the irony. It's the irony.
But there's no way anybody's going to be able to take that and turn that into the good side of the brace, right?
Right.
At the timing of that happened, because you had the Las Vegas shooting happen when they were trying to take the bump stocks, and all of a sudden the Las Vegas shooting, they're like, oh, you used a bump stock, got to take it from everybody. But see, that was a way smaller number of fucking out there. I think that was, I think it was 90,000 of them that they thought were out there.
Oh, so they're not even on the same scale. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're not even talking about anywhere close. Even if I'm off on that I want you to think let's make it 1 million. Let's make it not like it was 9 million, even though I know that wasn't the number. That's way too high. But it's still on an itty bitty scale compared to what's actually out there on this topic. And something that you've said straight up for 10 years that this was not that. And now you're saying it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if the odds are that everybody who has that type of weapon pretty much has that accessory, right? It's maybe not everyone, but at least 80% of them. Then yeah,
Right.
of course your odds are that was paired with it. Doesn't mean that okay. The real question just goes back to like once again, I really think gun control has nothing to do with the youth of America acting the way they are.
No.
I mean, that has to do with society and what what we're creating in these children, because this chick was what, 18? Like, she was a baby.
Yeah.
Even if she's 25, she's very young.
You still haven't learned
whatever
about
it
life
is.
yet, in all honesty.
Sorry for those that really care.
I mean, yes, if you're above 18, I get it. You're
I'm
an
from
adult,
an era
but
where we
it's
don't
like
have pronouns.
You got so much stuff to see in the future.
Well, I mean, the youth of America shouldn't be turning to, like, we're going to shoot people and innocent people at that. Like, those kids had nothing to do with her or her schooling or any of that shit. So it's like, she's been out of the school, so she resents the school for whatever they did to her or him or whatever he goes by. I don't even know. Like, I don't know if it's a guy who went to a girl. I don't know. This person, and I'm trying not to offend the youngins who think that the pronouns are a big deal, because in reality, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. Like, your capability is what it is. If you're capable, women can build houses and do all kinds of shit. I've seen them, but it doesn't mean every woman needs to do that. Doesn't mean every man needs to either. So, I mean, I've met a lot of guys who can't build shit. They can't function with a screwdriver. So what the fuck?
They can't figure out things.
That's all stereotypical bullshit to me.
It's all about, like, dude, that has nothing to do with any race, color, religion, nothing. It's just whether or not you're that type of person to figure out that scenario you're in.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, you fucking did something you didn't like, or somebody did something to you that you didn't like, then you handled that. But you didn't handle it with guns. We didn't go get mom's fucking dad's rifles and throw it in a fucking.
And then you were skating with the guy.
No, then generally they were friends of mine.
Yeah, let's go.
And it taught you something about, who you were, especially as a man. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
So, I mean, if you really are a trans from a woman to a man and you decided to go murder children, you're not a fucking man. That's not what men do. Men don't do that shit. That's not what you do. And I don't care who you are. No people should do that, period. I'm just saying that as a man, that's not something that men do. Men don't go run around fucking killing children. That's bullshit.
No.
Right? And we do the murdering.
Bullshit,
and I'm not going to lie, men do the murdering. Men do the murdering. We kill people all the fucking time.
Yep.
In comparison to women, men are probably 10 to 1 more likely to commit murder than a woman is.
It's always who has the bigger balls, who has the bigger dick. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and also, I mean, that's what we've been taught to do. I mean, we go to war. We do the things that are necessary because that's what's necessary. And it's not always pretty. It's not always nice, but it doesn't mean
really
that's
necessary.
Well, some of it is, yeah.
I mean, some stuff is, but it's like,
I mean, we're an experiment that
lot
200
of them,
years haven't been
on
invaded.
I think you can also agree that a lot of wars in your life you can look back on and be like, really?
Well, for us, for us in
us,
America, we're a bunch of privileged little brats.
Well,
so
I know
the
that.
reality of we can go, oh yeah, well let's look at the Iraq War, and it was a bunch of bullshit. And in reality, if you lived in Iraq, it wasn't no bullshit. It was a goddamn full-on fucking invasion, right?
Well, that's why you don't give up your fucking gun rights, people.
Well, I mean,
it's
over there,
that simple.
over there, it ain't about the gun rights. It was their way of life was way different than ours, and we just want ours to be the way everyone is.
But I mean, ISIS did give us a run for our fucking money, big time, and that's because
but ISIS was way after
look,
the
I'm
Saudis
not agreeing.
bombed.
I'm not saying I
9/11
agree
or
with
whatever.
anything in any of these words because I don't like the war thing at all. I think people are different in their own special ways, and it is what it is. What they do in other parts of the world.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some fucking pretty shitty leaders out there. Like, I think World War II was necessary. I don't necessarily think dropping fucking nukes on an island was necessary, but I think that Adolf Hitler didn't have any business being fucking a global leader of any
he
kind.
Sure did. No.
So, and then, but
I mean, if someone is going to attack, right? If someone attacks, that's I totally understand in defense, but it's like people need to stop there doesn't need to be an attacker. I get that that's not going to change. I understand that.
Yeah, but I mean, look.
Really
At the
it
same
should.
time, Hitler is murdering tons and tons of people, like aimlessly killing Jews, right? Bringing them and to the Holocaust, the whole 9 yards. We know the history, right? Same time that's happening, Stalin in Russia is just mass murdering millions and millions of his own people for no real apparent reason besides that he didn't want them people anymore in their areas of wherever the fuck they were. That was no longer acceptable, and now they must die. They didn't agree with him, whatever the reasoning was, but millions and millions of people died there, and no one batted an eye. No one went over there and tried to blow shit up over that. Nobody did a fucking thing because it wasn't the same thing as what Hitler was doing. Hitler was globally trying to make a point.
Yeah.
To everyone, and everyone was like, "Oh, we
And
can't just turn our eyes and not do anything
nobody
about
could just,
your
like,
country blowing the fucking murdering."
And they're taking more and more land over that time.
So when we have discussions about like the way people, leaders, and like the evilness of Hitler and shit like that, and that's commonly expected, and it's rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the guy was a very good guy. Period. Right? In any way, shape, or form, the guy was pretty fucked up.
He's pretty fucked up.
Right?
Stalin was real
But
fucked
Stalin
up.
was worse, dude. In
Yeah.
my opinion, he was way worse because he was just like, fuck it, I don't care what the rest of the people say. I'm going to just murder whoever I want to murder, and you guys go shut the fuck up. And everybody did. And that's scary. Because where else in the world does that happen? I mean, that could be going on in Russia right now. And would we
Dude,
do
it's
anything?
happened
I don't
over
think we
time
would
in
do
so many
anything.
places.
I mean, I guess it is happening in Russia because they're just killing each other, like, sending everybody to war. They all die, fucking blow each other up between there and Ukraine.
Well,
Ukrainians
dude,
are Russians.
Hey, you already said it's creating jobs.
So, yeah, I mean, I know what the purpose of this is, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, I mean, it's almost as if like,
I feel like it's got a lot to do with depopulation because everything is always mentioned about depopulation. There's too many people on the earth. There's too many people on the planet.
well, if you're Elon Musk, bro, Elon Musk came out and straight up said, dude, that's wrong as fuck. That's an outdated way of thinking. We're not overpopulated.
But does
We're
everyone,
underpopulated.
does all them rich motherfuckers agree with him? No.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. If
It does.
No.
Because them who have the money have the power.
I agree with. I understand that, but if you think of it this way, like, okay, so the way he describes it is this: if we don't have a replacement population for the jobs that currently exist, we have to replace those jobs. The jobs have to be automated, right? We're worrying about, oh, God, the machines are going to take our jobs. No, the fuck they're not. Going to take the jobs of the babies that weren't born because you guys aren't fucking making enough babies to run factories.
Yeah.
We're not making enough babies to fucking populate all the shit we have. So the way they judge it is this. In Japan, last year, the birth rate has decreased to a point where there are more old people diapers than baby diapers in their country.
Huh.
Now you're severely fucked up when
That's
your
not
aged, your
But
older
it is a
population
tiny-ass
lives
country,
longer,
bro.
But your older population lives longer. Yeah, but it's just the scale. You're talking a small country. Yes, agreed. It's a small country.
Itty-bitty.
But if you put the same thing, if they underpopulate the rest of the world the same way as they're doing in Japan, you're going to end up, all children will be taking care of old people. There will be a bigger draw to be a caretaker as a 20-year-old than there will be a need to have a nursery or be a school teacher.
Okay.
Because there'll be less children than there are elderly. So if you ask me, I don't need more old people, dude. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'm going to be older. I'm going to live to 120. I'm going to put a burden on my family for probably 40 years of that 120 years.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. However, if all of us live to 120 years old and our children, we only have one apiece, they're responsible to take care of us for 100 fucking, for how long? 40 years, dude. I'm saying you're good till about 90. When you hit 90, you're really just fucking waiting around. So for 30 fucking years, they're going to pay my bills, clean my shit, fucking do all my laundry and shit. That's what's going to happen, and that's going to happen globally. Everyone. You're going to be a lot of fucking old people. and there are not going to be enough young people to handle it, nor do all the jobs that are necessary to do. So if we
Right.
continually underpopulate the planet, there's nowhere for us to continue. Our civilization has to have a stopping point, right?
I don't think they need to fuck with anything. I think we figure everything else out in the world. Why can't we figure this out? But, dude, they had the balls to write it in stone. And it's been talked about in other places, too.
What? Overpopulation?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, of course, back
Holding
when you're
human population
wait
to
when
certain
you
numbers and shit.
when you had fucking you had 10
Even
guys
Bill
have
Gates
to go
says
out.
that the damn world's overpopulated and is freaking out about it.
When?
See?
When?
He
10 years
has.
ago? 10 years ago?
Does it matter?
Oh, it matters because science has changed. Think about this. In China 20 years ago, you had a one-child limit.
Okay.
Every family could have one child, and that's it. If you had
Right.
another child, you were going to have to pay fucking taxes or get rid of it. They wouldn't even let you get pregnant after you had one child.
Okay.
Now, 5 years ago, it was 2 children, and now they're like, fuck that. Everybody needs to have babies because now we're upside down. Now we have more jobs than we have people. We had 1 billion people. We thought we had too many goddamn people. They were taking all our shit. Now we need all those people to do other things, and they're not here. So we have to make them. And they're 20
Damn.
years away, right? So you can't
That's crazy.
make a worker. So you can't be reactive to a population problem. So you go from being overpopulated to being severely underpopulated, can't do any of the civilization needs anymore, right? You go from a party of 10 to go hunting. Back in the tribal days, you'd take a 10 party out. Now you have a 2 party to go hunting, and everybody's still at the village you got to feed. So now what do? You're not breeding enough soldiers. You're not breeding enough hunters. You got to get more hunters.
Yep.
You can't just keep breeding fucking weaklings and expect to go get the food. They're not going to get the food,
No.
right? So it is a severe problem.
Right now, if you, it's not looking so hot for the younger generation. I'm just saying that it's not. It's just.
But I mean, in our generation, it wasn't either, right? Like our parents probably said the same shit.
You know what? You're right on that.
So
You're right.
I mean, the thing about humans is we're
Skateboard,
relative.
jumping
We're
off
gonna
fucking
find out.
stairs and shit. Like they're gonna kill themselves. Like.
I mean, I think the cool thing about the new population is that they have more information than we could ever hope to have
That is
had.
true, and
And-
they've had it their whole lives. They've had it their whole lives.
And that access alone, plus they're gonna have. Listen, when AI takes off and robotics becomes a norm, which is not far away, dude. Like I would say within the next 5 to 10 years, robotics and AI will be a normal thing. Like everyone will be using it, and it will be helping all of our lives tenfold.
Okay.
I mean, literally, you will be using AI to do things that
I
you
know.
normally
Dude, I'm
had
seeing
no
it
clue
today.
would
Well,
even
like,
be possible.
I am definitely seeing what AI can do today. I can also see it going really bad, but
Well, the reason it could go bad is this, right? Because, all right, if you think of it this way, we had this conversation, whether it was on air or off air, I'm not sure, but we've had this conversation in the past, that when technology advances, it advances at a rate that's unbelievable to us as human beings. There's no way we could think that fucking when I was a child, we didn't have home computers and we didn't have pagers, and I don't think I'm old. And I said pagers. We got pagers when I was in like my 20s, okay? And I used the shit out of a beeper. No one, I would doubt that 80% of the people who can hear the podcast today don't even know what a beeper is.
I know what it is. Never used one.
You know what it is, and you've never used one, and you're not that much younger than me. I mean, you're just a decade or so behind, right? So it's not like it's a dramatic fucking difference in age group here.
Yeah,
right? We're
it's
within
not.
10
I
years of
think-
each other, and you never
Yeah.
used one, and
I,
that was the
I think
only way
it's
of
5,
doing
but
it,
I'm
me
not
and
for
Miss.
sure.
When technology is growing at a rate that's so fast that we can't even fathom how quickly this is advancing, that you 10 years behind me don't even know what the fucking technology was that I was using 10 years before you were born, right?
Right.
And it's like, that's ridiculous to me, right? So when you stop and go, okay, well, what happens when we get AI and robotics? Then technology now advances at a pace that if you look at, okay, government tends to regulate things from a reactive perspective. Meaning,
right, and it takes them forever to fix it.
Meaning we have
Like, do
we are
anything.
just now talking social media regulations in the last 2 to 5 years.
They're
right?
gonna be left behind in the dust. They're gonna be worried about all this one shit with this other.
By the
crap's
time
going
you
on.
know that AI is a problem, it's already too late. It's over. There's no fixing it. There's no changing
But
it. There's
isn't
no
that
stopping
what the
it.
worry is?
Yes, that's the worry. The worry is that if you don't give access to everybody, right, so that you can counteract it, you have to give it the. You have to. AI currently isn't learning the way that you may think it does. It doesn't learn like we do. However, at some point, the objective matters to it only. So if you tell the computer, like, I need you to do this one thing, and if this one thing is like heat the oceans because the oceans are cooling or getting too cold or they're getting too hot, whatever, cool the ocean down, then the thing will ultimately find a way to cool the thing down. But it depends on the parameters that you give it, right? Because cooling down the ocean may mean fucking, okay, well, we have to keep have this major weather event happen, and the way you do that is you nuke fucking half of the world, right? So immediately it just sends nukes off because that's what needs to be done to cool the ocean, not because that's what's best for humans, but because that's what needs to be done to do the task that you told it to do, right? And now, is that the AI's fault that you fucking nuked the whole planet, or is that your own?
It's your own.
Because you didn't control the solutions. So there's that issue with AI that people are afraid of. The other side to AI is...
Dude, that's pretty freaky, though.
Well, it's freaky to me and you, but fucking, if we could go back in time and sit with somebody from the 1920s and tell them that everybody be walking around with a fucking computer in their pocket and be able to tell you answers to shit that you have no clue about, fucking in a matter of seconds, and you could talk and look at your fucking family that's across the country all in 1 minute. In the 1920s, they would have been like, you're fucking crazy, and that scares me. Because I don't know how you're doing that, and I'm afraid of that. And that's what's happening with AI.
Right, that would freak people out back then. They were just now getting comfortable with cars driving by and watching where they're walking.
Yeah, I mean, you go from horse and carriage to fucking FaceTime. I mean, come on, man. And think about that, though. We're talking 1920s horse and carriage in the U.S.
Yeah.
Technology is so rapid that we're 100 years advanced from that. And we're like, where are the flying cars at that they promised us back in fucking future days?
Oh, they don't want us flying around, man.
Well, who the fuck would? But just as a movie concept,
we can't even drive on roads, and people get a clue on how the traffic can move faster. How anyone thinks that, like, when you could see pretty far away that it's coming down to one lane, that if you would just all get in line in the open gaps that you can just jump into. And the line will move a lot faster, but people, nope, I got to be faster than these 5 cars.
Well, yeah, nobody.
And that causes people to slam on their brakes. It causes this chain reaction down the line and all this other shit. They'd be doing the shit on purpose.
Well, I mean, yeah, there again. Okay, so AI resolves a lot of that problem for us because the cars drive themselves literally, and it means nothing. It doesn't. We don't need to be a part of that.
Really, I don't even.
So then what happens? But see, here's what happens, right?
I would much rather just put in where I need to go. And
so the fear of me and you who are analog go, well, fucking 30 years from now, nobody will know how to fucking drive at all. And that's true. Nobody will know how to drive.
No,
it will be lost.
Things like 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and shit like that.
No, you won't. Not eventually. You won't.
People are still going to want.
You won't need them. You'll have some hover fucking thing that'll just float for you, and it'll be 10 times better, and it won't fuck your bones up, and you'll be fucking like, let's fucking ride this shit.
It's just fun, dude.
Yeah,
it's just fun.
So is driving. I mean, driving's fun. You can argue that
it is fun.
I mean, if you haul ass and you're doing doing all kinds of shit, that's fun.
There's plenty of shit about driving that I think is fun, but the problem is most of that shit's generally illegal.
Well, it's dangerous.
It's not. The greatest part about driving is the fact of getting from point A to point B, and it can be pretty damn far away. That's the greatest part about it. But the thing is, if I could be doing shit other than fucking paying attention to the road and safely get everywhere I need to go, I'm going to let it do it.
Well, dude, I mean, I'm gonna be able to take a nap on the way to work and shit. Fuck yeah, I'll do it. Not to mention, but more to the point, like you said, if the cars just drive themselves, then we don't have to sit in traffic. Nobody cares about traffic anymore. You can actually be more productive. We could do something.
But I do think that it needs to be kept locked down to a point to where there's there's plenty of reasons why this should happen because, dude, it could be used for bad is why I feel like it should just be locked in this way. Okay. And it could be used for good too. You use good and bad. That if you have the keys to that car, no outside entity can just lock that bitch down. Okay? To where it's like, oh, you just can't use it anymore. Let's say, for instance, okay, you had some traffic ticket, and now your government has the power to say, oh, well, we got a warrant for their arrest for this traffic ticket because they didn't come to court. So your keys just lock the fuck down right then and there, right when they input it in the system,
Right.
because things will move that quick. Like, that's not cool, dude. Like what the fuck? And I get it. People be like, oh, well, keep up with your shit and all this other stuff. Yeah, but like I need you to understand what that could, like, imagine people having control of that in the government. Do you even trust them right now with other shit? I mean, yeah, you have to, but do you really trust them, though? I mean, we have to, but do we really trust them?
Well, no, I mean, and I think all societies at the end of the day, though, are built on a trust system for your hierarchy, because you have to believe your hierarchy has got your best interest at heart and or be afraid of them.
Well,
Those are your real options. You have to fear them, right? In most countries, it's fear. And in other countries, it's not fear. It's as much as like, we have to trust you. So we have to at least give you the appearance that we're trying to look out for your best interest.
But
right?
what I'm getting at is that I get that with some things. Totally understand that. When we're talking about just driving a car, freedom of movement, no one's got cuffs on you, or it's not like your warrant hasn't been put out, or, because I'm telling you, man, they'll keep inching and inching and inching, and I feel like, can we let them perfect the shit that they can't already before we start letting them just?
Well,
have
no,
that
I mean,
too?
I think
because the biggest argument to this for, I think, most people, especially conspiracy theorists and shit like that, is the whole entire thought that it's like, I'm not having anybody being able to tell me that I just can't drive my vehicle as mine.
Yeah, but okay, but wait a minute.
and just like they can lock my car down out of nowhere. Like people are gonna put up a fight about that, and in order for this, like, how else are you supposed to make this I mean, you'd have to have lanes that are just strictly for those cars then, and then all the other cars would be able to
okay, so you're talking about how do you go from analog to digital? That's what you're saying. How do you make the transition?
Other than how I think Tesla's doing it pretty good.
Well, you have to find a way to integrate your technology into the current mobility system. Right?
Yes.
And then
cameras
you
and
you
stuff
can't
like
really
that.
you're not going to really create an environment for those specific things until there's a need.
But with that, and with what Tesla has, they shouldn't be able to, and I don't know if Tesla does this or not. I don't have a clue. But they should be able to just be like, oh, well, they're looking for you, so.
Well,
and
wait a minute.
Now, anywhere you go, because, dude, they'll get to a point to where they're going to want this shit to be keyless, and you're just going to use your phone, but your phone has your identity, and that's your identity, and if your identity is wanted, now you can't go anywhere.
Well,
dude, that's what this is going to go to if we're not careful.
Okay, all right. So I work in the security industry, right? So we put up cameras and access control, all kinds of shit. And let me tell you something. If you're in public, you have been on at least 8 cameras within 15 minutes of being in a public place. And I don't just mean walking into a store. I mean driving to the store. You've been hit by 8 fucking cameras that Big Brother does have access to. Right?
Not even including everybody else's.
So what I'm saying is really what the fear would be is that the government figures out a way to unite all of their systems to work together, and those systems flag people, right? And then they would have to still get warrants and permissions from the companies like Tesla to have access to that software, right? To be able to do those things. Now, then you have to ask as a society, like, right? Well, what are you going to lock people up for? Like, because in reality, then no, you could utilize those vehicles as a means of safely detaining someone.
Yes,
opposed
and I
to
get
shooting
that, but
them,
it depends on what
you know.
And see, I understand that, but it's like at what level to where somebody abuses that, right? Because people, they already abuse shit. We've already caught them doing it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Like,
if you
so
give, you're not going to give. You
that's
can't
problem
give
with
the
that.
government.
And wait, real quick, let me say this. I understand that I sound like, oh, he's just standing up for criminals and shit like that. No, that's not what I'm getting at.
Oh, not
what about people that are actually good people, and it's like they literally have like the government agencies like on their back, and they're trying to get something out to us and everything, and all they need is that little bit of extra time, that little bit of extra movement, that vehicle to get them from one place to another to put it where it needs to go or whatever. But now they can't, and they're locked down, and like there's no chance of that happening. This is just one scenario in my head of a like this person necessarily ain't bad. Like they're it's just the government is going to do what they're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, it's for public safety and da 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 da.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, but that comes back to the people, right? Because there again, the one thing about the U.S. is that we get to elect our officials. So as much as and as terrible as I think some of the government is, I also understand that it's our fault that these fuckers even are having this rhetoric or conversation. Now, some of that is misguided by the media. One of the other things that AI is going to bring to light is how easily you can just fucking tell people whatever you want and make them think that's where it came from. Because they can do deep fakes right now where they can take anyone and make a video of them saying a bunch of shit they never said, right? And doing a bunch of shit that they never did, but just basically taking somebody else's face and slapping it on there, and you can't tell the difference. Right?
Shit.
So when that happens, and that happens on a humongous scale like the internet, like it already is slightly, but when it comes to a place where you can't, when it comes to a place where you can't differentiate reality online or television from anything else, it only just brings to light that it is all, and currently, whether they do it with a deep fake or not, it is all of it is bullshit. Yeah. Every bit of it is media. Every bit of it is there for our entertainment. You don't watch the goddamn news without commercials because somebody's just out of the goodness of their fucking heart playing these shows.
No.
This is a movie. And it's like, okay, Anchorman is a great film because of it. Because it just brings to light the truth that these are some really jackasses. And those jackasses are feeding you whatever information they feel like feeding you. And you're taking it in like it's goddamn gold. You're raiding buildings, blowing shit up, having fucking riots in the street from some shit you watched on TV,
on
dude.
TV.
TV isn't true.
No,
YouTube
man,
isn't even true.
Who cares?
Listen, I've seen videos all over YouTube of stupid shit all over the place. And the reality is it's on there. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. There is no like, oh my God, look at this UFO that this guy filmed in his front yard because it looks grainy and it looks like it came from a phone and it looks all perfectly correct and shit. Right. But guess what, motherfucker? If you take that film and you figure out what the fuck it originally is, what happens? It's a fucking fake. Bro, it's a fake. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. In some people's heads, that is life. That is real. And no matter what anybody says, that shit is gold. Now, 6 years later, they go look it up. They can't find that shit. They may get a side story that says somewhere buried on the last page of the paper that that was a recant and didn't really happen. But you never get the follow-ups, dude.
No. And now, dude, think about it. They don't even realize it because even photos, like they're bitching about the Samsung phones and about how it was altering the moon's, the actual picture that the camera was having. Have you seen this?
Nah.
Okay, so this thing's been going around for like the last month. Where Samsung, when you take one of the Note 20s and like newer, I think it is, and they have like that 100 time and 50 times zoom, you zoom in on the moon and it clears it, right? Like all of a sudden it just like goes clear. Well, it's actually like they tested this shit to see if they were really like doing some shit. So someone took a shitty ass picture of the moon that was on a fucking computer screen and took the phone and stood back and like zoomed in on it like they would the moon.
Right.
And it fucking did the same shit, made it look perfect and all this other shit. And like the thing was they've been saying that it's not AI, but it's like, no, that's how y'all are clearing up a lot of these pictures. You're using AI to clear them up.
Well, here's what's crazy.
You're just doing it in a different way or a different roundabout way to say you're doing it a different way.
No. Okay, check this out. This is where technology starts to really maybe bring to light that you yourself are a technology, right? Us, our meat bodies that we walk around in, are technology within itself. And here's how the correlation goes, right?
Yeah.
Because as a human being, you do the same exact thing, right? So we're asking AI to fill in the blanks. Well, your eyes work the same way as the computer is working. AI is doing.
Okay, I see what
right?
you're saying.
Because your eyes don't see everything; they just see the reflection of what you see. But your brain says, "Hey, I don't want to see this all choppy and dusty and fucking foggy. So fill in the blanks for me and put the shit in where it needs to go." Right? And you don't know it. You're not sitting there going, "Hey, I know that the AI in my brain is actually presenting half of the wall to me because of the way it's segmented." It just knows that section is this color. So just fill that shit in there. Okay? And there's nothing you can see at a microscopic level on there that changes the way the wall looks to you. So it's like it makes no difference. And you just go about your life.
True.
So as AI gets better and continues to do that, our technology grows to be extensions of us. So you got companies that are working this technology. So when we talk about the government, like I said, by the time the government understands AI is out and what it can do, it's gonna try
Dude,
to.
they
It's
gotta
gonna be
understand
reactive.
already.
It's going to be reactive. Well, what is that?
Think
mean?
about what we have in the military and the technology we have there. How would they not?
Oh man, come on, man. The military is a bunch of fucking idiots, dude. They just went to have. This is in recent, like this is during I want to say it was either at the end of Trump's and the beginning of Biden's term, but in that zone, okay, that the government agreed to sign a contract to utilize Microsoft's cloud service, right? So that they can, because Microsoft already has all of the computers inside the submarines, in the government, in the military. Okay. They have a specific program that they wrote just for the military. Now, you can do the same stuff with Linux. You could do it with Apple. Everybody could have done it, right? Bill Gates and Microsoft, that's really where all that money for them came from, was from the U.S. government. Okay? A lot of it is licensing to IBM and the way they got MS-DOS to every computer that's not an Apple, right, at first. Now Linux is a little more acceptable. So people are utilizing that platform more. Like Raspberry Pi brought
Linux.
that back in, right? So when you get into those things, right? The reason the government is the way the government is because they overspend on every fucking thing, dude. They don't fucking invest the money the way we want them to. And if they did put $1 billion into the technology that they're going to utilize, it would still not be even the scratch of a surface of where and how they can implement it. Because you can't take a submarine built in 1947 that's still in the fleet today, because goddamn better be at $100 million at that time, right? We're in a recession building $100 million fucking boats. Then it better fucking last 100 years, 70 years. What do you want out of that 100 million? I mean, I wanted to go. But the technology, we just said, is growing at a rate probably 1,000 times faster than you can keep up with.
To see us at
so by the time
screens
you get,
and shit, it's
if they started building a submarine.
Rolling screens. I'm waiting on the rollables. That's what I'm looking forward to.
If they started building a submarine today, right, they're going to build a submarine. So they start building it today. By the time the submarine is actually being launched into water, all the fucking shit they put on the submarine has now been upgraded. There's a new upgrade to every fucking thing, including the metal they use to make the fucking submarine, before it's finished.
Damn.
Hell, by the time the planning phase is done, they just got the blueprints printed. The technology is now better. You see what I'm saying?
God.
So how do you keep up? How do you stay with that if you don't keep up? If you don't allow the machines to do most of that bullshit for us, then we're asking to just stay in the prehistoric time a little bit longer. Right. Because the only way we get to George Orwell's 1987 like vision of the planet at that time, or a lot of these like science fiction novels of like, you know, the way the world is going to look in the future. Yeah. Like, now that AI is released, it could happen in the next 10 years. Completely a different world from today in less than 10 years.
Dude, it really could be, because people won't be, like, people aren't going to be wasting time with little small stuff. They'll be able to get to it and figure it out and move on and to something bigger and better. which is really what we want. We want to grow as a community, and as a nation, and as a world, and
Well, I mean, I think
way more advanced in technology, but also be more advanced in giving a damn about each other.
Well, I don't think we survive without it. Like I honestly think that
we don't survive
our civilization
without it. That's
and
why
our
that
species,
matters so much.
Our species goes extinct if we don't embrace technology and learn to like incorporate it into ourselves. Well, you think that Neuralink is bullshit? I'm telling you right now,
I don't think
dude,
it's bullshit.
we're gonna have to have a whole episode on Neuralink because Neuralink, to me, it's incredibly crazy to think about. And great, like taking this chip and allowing somebody to put a chip that you can download information into.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, nobody should trust the government, let alone think the government should have anything to do with something like that. But the other
Right.
side to this is, I don't want to be the last guy.
Like,
with that
hey,
chip.
you're wanted.
Listen, you're not
you're
giving-
like
If I get the option, I'll go real early to get this chip because I would then be a superhero until everyone else. Because by the time that the information that you can store and take, if you can basically just put the damn internet in your brain, well, what is
That's
the limit
fucking
then?
crazy
Then
to
what is
think
the limit
about.
though? What is the limit, and why do you do what you do? That's the question, right? Like where do we get off of the trip? Do we go to Mars? Do we go to another planet? Is Elon Musk really fucking a human? This guy is working on more big problems than anyone else has ever thought to work on.
That
and
is
he's
true.
not just theorizing them.
But God,
he's
he's
working
got so many
them.
fucking haters right now over some dumb shit.
Well, he's got to have haters. I mean, come on, man.
And he instigates it too, which is even funnier. I think he enjoys it. I'm like, how do you do all this wonderful shit and also deal with all this damn drama bullshit?
Well, he doesn't give a shit. I don't think about that because, like, you
I
know,
don't think he
okay,
does either.
I'm trying to save civilization
Because he's always smiling.
I'm trying to save
generally.
civilization, and you're fucking talking to me about smoking a joint on fucking
Right.
Joe Rogan's podcast right now. Shut the fuck up, dude.
No, they be bitching about him just being on Joe Rogan's podcast. I can't believe you be on there.
Like, oh my God, he's a normal person when he's not at work. And it's like, come on, man. But what I'm saying is regardless of what you feel about this guy or not, it doesn't make a difference to me, right? He is definitely working on some very big problems. And if you want to say it's for the money, fine, dude. But at what point do you not need the money? Like, I mean, look at Jeff Bezos. He's not working on fucking 10 big problems. He's working on one problem. He has been. And he's winning. His problem is beat. He's so beat that he doesn't have to run his company anymore. I'm sure he does some stuff from his yachts, but he's not really doing anything.
Gotta say it. Not enough yachts.
But that's what I'm trying to get at, right? Like, there are people who have a shit ton of money that just are happy. Okay, they're out. There's a lot he could do. Tesla, Elon Musk doesn't have to do anything anymore. If he stops today, he can live a great fucking rest of his existence and not worry about a goddamn thing. And all 12 kids or 50 kids, whatever he's had.
Dude. Easily.
And not even break a sweat.
And he's still like living in it now. He's
So
gonna
then
live
why
in
is
a
he
pod.
doing it?
He's
That's
living
the
in a
question,
pod
right?
now. I'm like, what? Like he's so.
Well, he just released his living pods.
Yeah, that shit's
$10,000
cool.
homes.
From
Each
what
small
I've
home's
seen,
10
they
grand,
look
bro.
cool as shit. I'm like, man, that's kind of pimp.
Bro, 10 G's for the whole
know.
house, bro? Bathroom, kitchen,
That's
fucking
what I'm saying,
bedroom,
man.
everything.
Buy a piece of land, put 4 or 5 of those on there. Here's yours. Here's yours. Clean your own shit. like,
You damn right, dude. Well, I mean, you figure for what a house costs today, that's 10 houses for a $100,000 home. You can't even buy a $100,000 house.
right,
200,000, you can get 20 of those motherfuckers.
dude. And
Bro,
they,
you can have a
they
whole
have solar and all kinds of shit. Like it's
They're self-contained, yeah.
to think of, and they fucking actually pretty nice. I mean, they look small, but what do you really need?
Well, that's the
Like
whole
honestly,
point.
what do
That's
you
the
need?
point.
It's got everything it needs right there in there for you. So like, what do you fucking need?
Well-
Like anything past this is being a bit ridiculous. I'm like each person gets their own kitchen, their own bedroom, their own laundry area. All this stuff's built into this thing.
Well, that's what we use. That's the stuff you actually need to have a house.
Like
yes.
no one's gonna fucking no one's gonna drop a tree on your power line because there isn't one. There's solar panels on the roof and it runs off battery backup and all this stuff. Like it's crazy what this thing what these things are. It's like really $10,000 like.
Well, I mean, that's awesome. That's what we should be trying to do. Because the reality is like, okay, and at some point that has to stop too. You can't go linear. You can't try to just stretch and spread out to every ounce of fucking land that we own. Like, okay, yeah, this is part of the U.S., so let's put a fucking another place on it. Let's put another house on it. Well, where are you
Right.
going to feed people at? What are you doing to the environment if you're taking all of it?
You
Instead of
can't
just
take all
growing
of it.
up, instead of like, high rises or self-contained major cities that go up instead
Look,
of out.
I feel like people need to be comfortable. I feel like people. Okay, I think one of our big problems right now when it comes down to populations is that, and I get why they have to do it, but they got to be in one little area, right? So it's like,
Well, it's easier to put them
but
all
what
together.
happens is that the area around those, it grows, and then people move further and further out. But if you could figure out a way to where people could be closer, whether or not on top of each other underground, figure out ways for that, be self-sufficient, and fucking be able to make the getting around the city not take fucking forever. See,
Well,
that's
you
why
would-
most people move, and it causes the city to grow. It's not because they have a problem with living in a big building or something like that. It's like, I'm not trying to fucking take forever to go, like over.
Well, I
here or
mean,
whatever else
in
like that.
most, like-
if you took care of the transportation part and making sure that it was quick and fast and efficient, like, dude, people would be like, oh shit, I don't give a fuck what floor I'm on.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though, is if you make a self-sufficient building, if instead of making a 10-story high-rise full of
Yeah, put everything
apartments.
in the building.
Oh, yeah, if everything
Like
was
most
there.
shit.
If there was a grocery store, there was jobs, there was a way
Yeah.
to make money, there's a way to survive within this own environment right here, right? You didn't have to go out to go to work. You didn't have to go out to go to the bar. You didn't have to go out to go to get groceries. You didn't have to leave to do shit except go to floor 6 or 8 or 20 or 15.
Right?
Right? Or whatever it is, however your mode of getting around this place is, but everybody can just suffice there, right? Which is what technology brings us to. At some point, you have to, if we're going to keep the monetary system, we have to find a way to keep people somewhere else where they can do the jobs
Yeah.
because we don't want them everywhere.
See, we have a lot of people that really want to have their space around them, have a little piece of land, not have the houses on top of each other. And I think that that's cool. But there's a lot of people that don't really want to travel that far. They just can't afford to live in the city and shit like that. So they would stay in that area. They don't want to have that huge-ass commute. And that's why I say that I think that we could take care of a whole lot of this spreading out and taking up more and more land and beautifulness and nature and stuff like that by letting the people that really do want to stay there, figuring out a way for them to be able to stay there and get what they need quickly or it's convenient and they're happy, and then that way there's not so much shit getting destroyed, but they're still building.
Well, I mean, I think
You'll still have to keep building on top of everything.
I think
but
what you're
yeah.
saying though is like, okay, it's like it's more of a philosophy than it is a like. There's nobody pulling. There's not like the Illuminati going, oh, we got to keep people spreading from each other or some shit, right? It's not a conspiracy.
Right.
What it works out to be is our
I didn't
philosophy
think it was
is.
anything like that.
Well, no. I know that. What I'm trying to get at though is when we run into things like this, right? This is a philosophy of humans that we need to just continue to spread, conquer, and take more space. Because
Yeah.
we have a lot of space. There's been so much land where there's not people.
We found it all.
Okay, we talked earlier. Wait, wait. We talked earlier about how you said the Earth is being overpopulated, and I said, well, the argument now is that it's underpopulated, and the way they judge that is if you were to drop a ball from a helicopter in the major metropolitan city like New York City, the odds that the ball hits a person are like 0.00001 that the ball's going to fucking hit a person. It's going to fall, bounce, and not hit anybody.
Are you serious?
Now, how is that possible if we're overpopulated? If we were overpopulating the Earth, the odds that would actually hit someone would be a lot higher.
Because you got to be able to lay down.
Even in Bangladesh, India, you could drop the ball and it wouldn't probably not hit somebody.
But we have to have nature either way, so we do have to slow it up.
Well, what I'm saying is this: is at the point that we have now
And no, I'm not
covered
trying to
the
be all
entire.
like some green,
Listen, as
like,
soon as there's a food crisis because there's not enough land anymore to feed everyone, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to figure out another way. So you can't just keep taking the land away. You need the land for other shit.
Right.
So at some point we're out of whack and we have to find a better way. Then humans go, oh shit, we got to find a better way. We've now made everything a desert. Let's figure out how to not make it a desert and then take all the people and figure out a way to make them go up instead of out because we've been spreading out and it's not working anymore. Now we have to find another way to fucking house all these people and put them where they need to be and give them that ability, right?
Right.
So it's like we are reactive. And a lot of times what it comes down to is a lot of innovations happen because of disaster or reason. Like, if there's no problem, nobody does shit to fix it.
You know, you're right. Everybody gets comfortable and they're chill. As long as you can go with no hiccups, you're generally pretty happy.
Like, I'm sure there's very little of the government budget out to try to discover and figure out a way to make sure we don't get hit by a meteorite that destroys our life, kills the planet completely.
I hope someone is.
But feel me. Look, we think the dinosaurs.
I don't need a light bulb falling out
think
of the
that
sky
there
and
was.
hit me in the head.
We think that there has been multiple events on this earth that are mass extinction events that we would not survive. Naturally, have happened to this planet. We know this. We can find evidence of this, right?
Right.
We're not doing shit to stop that. We're blowing each other up. It's like, come on, man. When the fuck as humans do we realize, like, when we can see the rock coming in our atmosphere, there's a fucking goddamn building coming down in the atmosphere. Now, Americans, the world population, Chinese, Russians, all of us, oh shit, man, we got to do something.
We're all gonna be dead.
Oh fuck! Now we can see the rock. We might need to fucking do something about this. Even though history and all civilizations have said, "Hey man, there's shit that comes down from the sky that fucks you up." And they're not talking about goddamn UFOs. And even if they are, who cares? We still should maybe be paying a little bit of attention to it.
Shit that comes out of the sky that will fuck you up.
I mean, it's obvious on, the writings on walls and shit that shit was like, hey, some shit rained down on these people.
All right. Well, guys, that was a great one. And until next time.
Peace out.